Now, here are your race announcers, WHIO Sports Director Mick Hubert and Huffy Corporation's Mike Melton.
You are looking live down Peace Avenue in West Carrollton, Ohio. It's the home stretch of this 9/10 of a mile Criterium race course here in West Carrollton. The riders will be sprinting toward the finish line. A very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mick Hubert. I'll be the anchor for our telecast here this afternoon, and it is my pleasure, as always, for the third year to be working alongside Mike Melton of the Huffy Corporation, who, as always, will provide our expert analysis on this race. Mike, a pleasure to be working with you. Good to see you again, and I'm looking forward to your commentary during the race today. It's marvelous weather, I guess we can tell the people, and we all know what kind of weather we've had. So to have sunshiny skies and a little bit of a tail breeze coming in, it will really be a good stretch race.
Well, Mick, the weather is perfect for this race today. We have a slightly chilly wind blowing, and it's a tailwind coming up the home stretch, so we'll have some good sprints. We have a lot of money to give away today, and we have a pretty hot field.
Mike, as a matter of fact, the viewers have been looking at the money to be given away to 20 places, $4,000 purse. The winner will receive $900, a pretty good payoff for the top spots. As you can imagine, $650 to the runner-up. They'll pay off all the way down through place number 20, which will receive $55. Now, in addition to this money, which is a part of the $4,000, Mike, we also have the Preems, which will also pay. And the viewers who may not have been with us for the past couple of years are reminded just what a Preem will be.
On the Preem, a Preem is actually a race within a race. Mm-hmm. It'll be given to the winner of a designated lap, and they'll designate the lap by a bell. And then the next time the riders come around, the first one across the finish line wins that particular Preem. And it can be anything from $10 to as high as $150 to $200. It really depends on how much money they have available for the Preems.
Mike Melton and I are working above the race course, but down on the course for various viewpoints throughout this race is Mike Hartsock, and let's join Mike now.
Okay, Mick, I'm right here at the start-finish line. The racers all behind me getting ready to go. My role in the race, as it was last year and the year before that, I'll be riding around the course, watching the racers as they go around the course. I'll be riding on News Cycle 7, provided to us by Huffy. And speaking of the course, let's take a tour around this course here in West Carrollton right now.
Stand by.
The course is located in West Carrollton near the Miami River. The riders begin the 9/10 of a mile lap on Pease Avenue and take the first turn onto Stadium. Then they turn left onto Trina for a short sprint to the next left turn onto Alex Road. They pass through a hard turn on Alex and continue on to a left turn onto Risley. At the end of Risley, they turn right onto Cottage and ride to a left turn onto Cedar Street. They continue on Cedar until they turn left back onto Pease and race to the finish line.
Okay, that's the course the riders will be riding this afternoon. I'm going to jump on News Cycle 7. The guys are on their bikes behind me. We'll be back with the start of today's race right after this.
Huffy Corporation's contributions to cycling are significant. We regard our involvement in the Miami Valley to be of equal importance. With over 2,000 proud, dedicated employees and a sincere interest in the growth and goodwill of the Dayton area, Huffy is proud to call Miamisburg and Salina home for our corporate and manufacturing operations.
From Huffy, America's first choice.
Huffy Corporation hopes you will enjoy the presence of amateur cycling in the Miami Valley.
You got the stumps, we'll help you. You got the stumps, we'll help you. You got the stumps, we'll do you right.
Perfect pricing on the perfect size Pepsi for your Memorial weekend entertaining. The big 24-pack Pepsi cans just $4.99, and the big 39-ounce Maxwell House coffee is only $5.99 this week.
We'll show you, you got the stumps. We'll show you, you got the stumps. We'll do you right.
Art in the Park will be here soon. Mark your May calendar now for this picture-perfect event. Why not join your friends at Dewey's Park for the 22nd annual Art in the Park?
This is special, and it's only this Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. It's our gigantic Memorial Day weekend sale, and it's our push, pull, and drag sale, and we'll guarantee you a $1,500 trade-in allowance. Like on this 84 Cavalier, only $79 a month, and you own it. Or this 86 Pontiac T1000, only $69 a month. So don't even stop to call us at 338-3131. Just come take advantage of these specials this Memorial Day weekend at Smith Chevrolet, Rossburg, Ohio. What a place!
Hi, I'm Dave Freeman from News Center 7, along with Steve Kerrigan from WTUE, urging you to join the Multiple Sclerosis 150-mile bike tour June 10th and 11th.
The course runs from Piqua to Ohio Northern University.
Organize a team or register yourself.
Proceeds benefit MS projects. Call 461-5232 for details.
Mick Hubert along with Mike Melton back here in West Carrollton, Ohio. We are set now to join the event services announcer, Jamie Smith, who will introduce some of the key riders in today's event.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to West Carrollton, Ohio for the first Criterium of the Memorial Day weekend, the West Carrollton Criterium and the Huffy Pro-Am. Beginning with the introduction of the 10-star riders that we have waiting at the line. Number 2 from Greenville, from Atlanta, Georgia, winner of the Greenville Stage and Light Speed, Gary Davis. Number 10 from San Marco, California, 6-time national champion, former national team member for riding for Nissan Schwinn, Danny Van Hout. The 1988 Ireland Road champion, riding for Little Caesars from Dublin, Ireland, Cormac McCann, number 16. 1986-1987 State of Michigan Road Race champion from Detroit, Michigan, riding for Team Ohio, Tim Swift. The 1987-88 age-graded national champion, the hot lap sprinter at the West Carrollton Criterium in 88 and placed second behind our winner. I'll introduce him in a minute, but for right now, it's David LeDuc of Little Caesars of Raleigh, North Carolina. Riding for Team Lycra from Atlanta, Georgia, 1988 Olympic team and 1988 national kilometer champion. Number 24, Bobby Livingston. Where's Bobby Livingston? Oh, splendid. Thank you. Great. The Canadian national team is here. Their representative, Yannick Kojen. And the Maple Leafs are here. A member of the United States national team, the 1987 national points race champion, placed second in the points race last year against the strong 7-Eleven squad, number 54, Dan Votes. Where are these riders? Where are these riders? From across the seas, from Switzerland, Zellweger Adrian, riding for Cuddy Sark. With over 200 career wins in 8 years, the 1988, his most notable finish is the 1988 South Florida Prestige Trophy Cup. 8 years of racing from Raleigh, North Carolina. Team carries Ronnie the Rocket Hinson. Team Carry also has from Renfrew, Pennsylvania, the Great Britain Milk Race winner, number 71, Matt Eaton. They've also brought a 12-year pro, the 1983 U.S. Pro Circuit champion, Pro Pursuit champion, and the 3-time national champion, Jeff the Rocket Rudder. All 3 riders have just come off a very strong ride at the Tour de Trump. And the local favorites from Dayton, Huffy, and Kettering, Ohio, number 82, Mark Postal. In the popular Huffy jersey, all other riders may come to the line. And we'll be getting underway very, very shortly.
So we've had the introduction of the 10 star riders here in this field of 85, which will be riding through the streets here in West Carrollton. It's a very good day for racing, and the racers certainly do like this course. There's something here for everybody, whether it be the sprinters or the guys who ride more in the pack. This really really they can shine on just about any part of this course. I know we've talked about this in the last 3 years. They seem to really enjoy this field.
Also a $200.
Most of these riders really enjoy this course because the weather's always been good for them here. The crowds are not great big crowds, but they have their own little crowd that cheers for each rider as he comes by, and the course is wide open for any type of tactic they want to play here. They can sit in the pack and sprint for the preems, or they can really go out and try and break away.
Jim Black, the chief official here, getting sure all the last-minute instructions are underway, and now this race is underway.
And they're off.
We'll watch the start of the race because it can become dangerous, as any race with this many people in it would be.
Sure, this is a very large crowd for this tight a course. The first turn's always the toughest because everybody's trying to get into their cleats and get wound up and get up to speed.
They're on Stadium now and making the left turn, going on to Trina, which is not too long. And then they'll be going on the big straightaway out in the back, and that will be on to Alex Road, as they're right now on to Trina. And when they get on to Alex Road, they'll eventually swing around to the left and head west. And for that period of time, Mike, they will be riding into the wind. That's
Yes,
the only time of the course they'll do that.
On the overhead camera, you'll see them bunch up when they're going into the wind, and then they'll string out when they're in a tailwind situation. And usually when they're in a tailwind, they're going very, very fast. We'll probably see speeds approaching 35 to 40 miles an hour down the home stretch today.
We hope to visualize from time to time on our race coverage here this afternoon some of the speeds throughout this race, and you'll actually get a look at to see, and we'll also from time to time be able to show you just how fast each in particular lap is. Interesting point you make about, Mike, about going into the wind, being in the pack. It's obvious there, the drafting reason, perhaps? Or
Well,
why are they doing that, as opposed to when they've got the wind to their back, race differently?
Generally, when you're in the wind, it takes a lot more energy to break that wind and go and punch a hole in it. And what happens is the front riders are punching the hole, and they're really exerting more energy than the riders behind them. And the riders that are behind are basically coasting in their draft. So they can go a little bit faster. So what happens is you see the whole pack bunched together. They all come together because it's like a slinky spring effect. Here come the riders now down the home stretch, and they're pretty well strung out.
As they make the left turn and come down the straightaway here at Peace, you'll get a good look at our high camera. They're taking a look right now as they've completed the first lap. Gary Davis of Greenville Stage, Lightspeed out of Atlanta, Georgia, leading after the first lap. He was the first rider introduced.
A lot of these riders are coming off of the Tour de Trump that ended last weekend, and that race was one of the toughest races that many of these riders have ridden all year long. There were a lot of European professionals at this race, and they all applauded the toughness of the race, and they all said that there were climbs in that race that were equal to the Tour de France. And for that to happen in the United States is very, very great. So we're going to see some pretty fast riding. These guys got in really good shape from the Tour de Trump, and they're down here, or up here rather, and they want to win some of this money.
Of course, we here at Television 7 have been here in West Carrollton now for this our third year, so we have been a part of the racing scene for that length of time. But with the inaugural Tour de Trump, what has that meant for bike racing in this country and more live television of events such as this?
It's brought a lot of notoriety to cycling in the United States. It's brought a lot of money into it, a lot of money, and it's made the European professionals look at us as, well, maybe we should go to the United States and race now.
Which is totally something new.
That's it's very complimentary, very flattering for them to say that. Back in the 30s, racing in the United States was the greatest sport there ever was. There were more people attending racing bicycle races in the 1930s than baseball games. Bicycle racing was the national sport basically in the 30s, and then the World Wars came along, and that changed everything. And America fell in love with the car. So here they come down the home stretch again, and they're really struggling, going very fast.
Getting a look at the elapsed race time right now. 2:07 for the second lap. Of course, the Criterium is a multi-lap event, and it is 45 laps here today. Talking about the importance, really, of cycling in this country, and the importance of the Criterium really led to the establishment of the National Criterium Championships back in 1981. And in fact, the first year that we televised here in 1987 at West Carrollton, that was for the National Championship.
That's correct. It was the National Criterium Championships. Criteriums are very interesting to watch because they're basically done on very short courses, very twisty courses, and a spectator can see the racers come by about every 2 to 3 minutes. Whereas on your long point-to-point road races, you might wait 4 hours just to catch a 20-second glimpse of the racers come by.
We also hope from time to time throughout this afternoon's telecast to have some aerial pictures as provided by Chopper 7. We have really doubled our camera coverage here for this race, Mike. I think in the 87 race we had 4 or 5 cameras, and we're up to about 9 cameras today. We've really been able to put cameras in some of the other turns and provide to the viewers some extended coverage. So we hope to really capture all the excitement here today.
I think the next step is to put a very large video monitor out so spectators can see what the television viewers can see. At the Olympics this year, there was a very large multi-screen viewing truck, actually, that the spectators could watch all around the course, the Olympic course, and see how their favorite riders were riding throughout the entire race, and it was exceptional coverage.
Now notice how they sprint every time because they want to be the first one across.
The most aggressive rider in this race today gets a special jersey, and we've been chosen to pick this rider, so we have to keep our eyes open.
Third lap lead, Peter Berridge of the Canadian national team, and I believe Cormac McGann out of Charlotte, North Carolina now, a native of Ireland, was coming across, so right behind there in second place.
It's amazing that every year this race has been held, we've had people from all over the world come and race it. And the race is known all over the world now.
Which is really a tribute to the people that have put this race on. And you know, when you start something initially, you have nothing but improvement ahead, and they've certainly capitalized. There were things to improve upon, and they have. And there's no secret that this year, the third race is going to be the best of the 3, and I would perhaps think that next year will be better than this year because it's a learning experience. But just in 3 years to have come this far and to attract this number of riders is quite amazing in itself. And this race only continues to improve and get better and better. Our coverage will also continue because we're just through the start of things. We're glad you're with us for this race here in West Carrollton. We'll return to the streets here for more racing in just a moment.
Black on black. Sleek. Wild. Huffy Stalker. Anything but tame. Stalker, a racing bike. Or an all-terrain bike. Both 12-speed smooth, quick as a cat. Huffy Stalker. It's anything but tame. From Huffy, America's first choice.
Break the old window habit with vinyl sash replacement windows by Champion. Since 1953, Champion has been locally manufacturing and installing vinyl replacement windows, siding, and awnings. Let Champion insulate and beautify your home. Buying factory direct ensures quality, installation, service, and saves you money.
It saved me so much money. It's surprising when you cut out the middleman how much there is to be saved.
Eliminate the middleman. Call Champion Window Company today for your free in-home estimate.
Everyone has been waiting for Rex's gigantic Memorial Day sale.
Gentlemen, it's about that time. Wimley, open the door. I did it last year.
Who can we get to open that door?
Hi, guys.
This nationally sold 2-event 7-day video recorder is now $169. Or this Kawasho Color TV, memorial sale priced at just $129.
Rex's Memorial Day sale. It's the sale everyone's been waiting for. Well, almost everyone.
Sometimes life in the kitchen can get a bit dull. Starting today, it's going to get a lot more colorful. Introducing Reynolds Crystal Color Plastic Wrap. Brightens everything from leftovers to lunchboxes.
Green, amazing, yellow.
Reynolds Plastic Wrap in colors.
Blue,
very cool.
Reynolds.
Put some excitement back in your kitchen. Wrap it right and bright.
Mick Hubert, along with Mike Melton, and Mike Hartsock is also on the course for our coverage here this afternoon of the Dayton Cycling Club Huffy ProAm Criterium race. The racers are making their left turn and coming down Peace Avenue here in West Carrollton, and that is the home stretch. They've got a tailwind, and they'll come across the start-finish line here as we're early into this 45-lap event. It will be 40 miles, 9/10 of a mile around this course.
We just had a preem announced, so the next time around, the lead rider wins the prize.
Marco Verney of Austin, Texas, racing for Team Ohio, holding the lead at this point. 2:17 on the lap time, which is a little bit slower than the previous, to 2:07.
Well, you can see there's a slight break establishing itself now. The main pack is all bunched up because these guys are resting, and then you have a couple of groups of maybe 10 to 15 riders off the front. Now, if they can all get together and work together, they can maybe catch the pack napping and get away from them. We've seen this happen in the past, and generally what will happen is you'll get a break that'll go away and stay away for maybe 15 laps, maybe 20 laps, and then the pack will decide, well, we want to bring those guys in, and then the pack will get together and work. And if they work together, 10 riders can go a lot faster than 10 riders together can go a lot faster than 1 or 2 riders by themselves off the front.
Contestant stand. $9 takes home a pretty good day and a pretty good t-shirt.
Here early in the race, they seem to be passing the lead back and forth, which is not really uncommon, is it, early on to have someone changing the lead back and forth, or would you expect perhaps one rider to have the lead for several laps?
The course is too twisty for one person to be able to be strong enough to go through the whole course by himself without help. It'd be rather foolhardy also, because we have a lot of distance to cover over the next hour and a half.
We have 39 laps remaining here. Once again, they head for the home stretch.
We'll get a name and a number to go with the riders coming up the street now. It is
We have
Tim
two
Swift.
men breaking away here.
Tim Swift takes home one of the points in 45
Tim Swift of Columbus, Ohio, or Barker Proby in the lead.
Stage speed, light speed.
Somebody's running over somebody's pamphlet out there. That could be dangerous. A piece of paper dropped down in the middle of the road now could get caught in somebody's front wheel and really cause a bad accident. So we have to be real careful with what gets out on the road course. At the Pan American Games in 1987, during the team pursuit on the bicycle track, a camera was dropped off of the side of the track, and it slid down and went between the wheels of one of the U.S. Team riders and almost caused a major accident. And to make matters even worse, 10 minutes later they were out racing again and another camera was dropped. And the cameras were dropped on the banks, and the banks are like 37-degree banks, so the camera just doesn't drop and stop. When it drops, it hits the ground and zip, down it goes the track. It's just like a little rat or something running down the track. And if you hit something like that at the speeds those guys are going, it can cause a major catastrophe.
Well, let's hope we don't have anything close to that here, but if we do, let's hope that Mike Hartzog is in a position to report to us. And right now, let's join Mike and see what he has to say about this race here early on. Mike?
Okay, Mick, I'm in a good position right here at the corner of Risley and Alex Road. Now, Alex Road, right here behind me, is the worst spot on the race course because the wind is coming hard off the levee. It's coming right over top of the levee and right into the rider's face. Now, the secret here is to have the pack between you and the wind coming off the levee. If you can work the pack, work inside the pack, you're going to get some drafting in there. You're not going to get as much wind coming off the levee, and you can go a little bit faster. Right now, as they just came through us, we had about 4 or 5 riders breaking away. Let's see how they're coming down the home stretch.
All right, as they make the turn off Cedar, onto Peace. Again, 2 in the front pack. Again, Tim Swift, the former Michigan champion there, is in the lead, and right on his shoulders
Number 47 chasing is Brian Obermeyer. We've seen him before. He's trying to
Michael
get in the
Holman from
And
Lansing,
there's the rest of
Michigan,
the field
from Team
with
Ohio.
four,
And about
38
33 miles per hour is the speed right now, and slightly more than 2 minutes as we have been through the laps here so far.
If you look at the riders' faces as they come across the finish line, you'll notice they're not really in too much pain, so they're not working very hard. Most of them are just sitting in.
Just putting in their time?
Putting in their time, waiting until the race gets on down till the last few laps, and then they're hoping that they'll have a little bit more edge on the people that are up front working real hard.
You know, Mike, when the race began here in 1987, it's really the same course today, is it not? There really is not much that they've done any different to this course.
They don't have to. The course is perfect as it is. There's plenty of really nice sweeping turns, some pretty short, twisty chicanes that really test the bike rider's handling skills, and then nice long straight stretches that test his strength. And the real great thing about this course is we have the city's backing.
And that's always so very important, because a race like this couldn't go on without that support and all the volunteer help. So as this race continues here in West Carrollton, it's important really to tell you a little bit about some of the bikes that you are seeing today, and they have a direct effect on the bicycles that you can buy. Mike Melton shows us this important relationship.
This bicycle started it all. This is the 1984 U.S. Olympic team bicycle that has won more gold medals than probably any other bicycle in the world. From this bicycle, we went into this bicycle, the 1988 team issue. The difference between these two bicycles is this bicycle was made of aluminum and is glued together. This bicycle is made of graphite, steel, and also aluminum and is glued together. How do these $45,000 bicycles affect the production of the everyday consumer bicycle that Huffy makes? The two biggest items are the Tetra, right here's the Tetra, and the Sigma. From our research into materials to produce these two $45,000 Olympic funny bikes, we produced the Tetra made of Duralite steel tubing. Duralite is a name synonymous with Huffy now. It's very lightweight steel tubing. This bicycle was the very first bicycle for the mass market that weighed less than 30 pounds. And for those people that like bicycles for off-road riding, we have the Snake River. This is also a very lightweight ATB. It's made of Duralite tubing. It has alloy componentry and is an 18-speed off-road bicycle that's excellent for riding practically anywhere you want to ride. The second largest innovation that Huffy came up with is the Sigma. This bicycle was introduced in 1986. It was one of the very, in fact, it was the very first commercially available bicycle that utilized a front and rear wheel shroud and an aerodynamic saddle. This is the 944 version Sigma, and this particular bicycle has sold more bicycles than any other bicycle in the whole market. Now lastly, we have this bicycle, the Sonic 6. This is the ultimate in trickle-down technology concept. In the 20-inch bicycle, this utilizes derailleurs and a special shifter. It has a special chain guard and also a very functional flowing front handlebar shroud. This really reduces the wind drag, so you can really fly with this bicycle. As you have observed, what appears to be technology exclusive to world-class competitors is often made available functionally and aesthetically by trickling down advanced and/or exclusive processes to those products enjoyed by the public. So remember, as you observe today's coverage of the Huffy ProAm bicycle race, the equipment providing these athletes with a competitive edge may sooner or later be lending to the comfort and performance of your very own bicycle.
All right, Mike, thanks very much for that report. And you take a look right now at the leader, Tim Swift, out of Columbus, Ohio, again, the former Michigan national champion, with Skip Spankenberg out of South Carolina running second. And again, Michael Holman from Team Ohio. Lansing, Michigan is third, and those three in the lead have an 8-second draft over the next rider, the fourth place rider. The previous lap time was 2 minutes and 13 seconds. So again, they've been around 2:03 to 2:13, and the speeds have been around 32 to 33 miles per hour.
Yeah, they're all three working really well together. You can see that on the screen. Each rider's sharing the pace a little bit, and they're trying to maintain a real fast, hard pace so that the pack won't catch them. Now, the pack seems to be sleeping. You see they're all bunched up. You can see that in the background. They're all bunched up, and they're not really chasing too hard. There are a few riders that are trying to bridge it. The more riders that bridge up to this, the more likely that this race will be successful, or this break would be successful.
So with Tim Swift and Skip Spankenberg, Michael Holman running 1, 2, 3. We'll continue with more of our racing coverage here in West Carrollton as we complete yet another lap. Still a long, long way to go, and we'll return for more exciting racing action in just a moment.
Make Memorial Weekend grilling delicious, easier, and affordable with Conn's regular jumbo or bun-sized wieners at only 99 cents a pound. And add the Cookout Classic Florida Yellow Sweet Corn at just 10 cents an ear.
We'll show you you got the stunts. We'll show you you got the stunts. We'll do you right.
It's no secret why some room additions outshine others. Anderson windows and patio doors make a dazzling difference.
Come home.
Get this 84-page book of window ideas at these Anderson dealers.
Available at PK Building Centers in Bell Fountain and Springfield, Preble County Lumber in West Alexandria, and Halsey Myers in Middletown.
This is special, and it's only this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's our gigantic Memorial Day weekend sale, and it's also our push, pull, and drag sale, where we'll guarantee a $1,500 trade-in allowance, even like on this 1990 Lumina, only $179 a month, or this new Corsica, only $149 a month. So don't even stop to call us at 338-3131. Just come take advantage of these specials this Memorial Day weekend at Smith Chevrolet, Rossburg, Ohio. What a place!
Make a splash in your backyard this summer with a beautiful swimming pool. Hi, I'm Terry Westfall from Pools and Patio Plus in Richmond, where better pools cost less. We've got over 100 above-ground pools in stock at guaranteed lowest prices. Visit our Pool Supply Center for big savings on pool liners, filters, solar blankets, and chemicals. Make a splash with comfortable patio furniture by Homecrest and GrowFlex, now reduced 20 to 50%. So shop Pools and Patio Plus, I-70 at exit 151 in Richmond, your interstate pool and spa leader.
What
number?
18.
Mick Hubert along with Mike Melton, Mike Hartsock back here at West Carrollton, Ohio. John Schell of Columbus, Ohio in the lead. And let's join Mike Hartsock now, who is down for an interesting interview along the race course. Mike?
Okay, Mick, I am here right where the riders are coming through right now. They're just passing the pit area, and nobody has stopped into the pit area just yet. Joining me is Dave Luding, who is responsibility is in the pit area. You work for Mavic, and your responsibility is to be there if anybody needs help.
Yeah, we had a pretty lucky lap this last time. No, there's no flats, no spokes, no problems with wheels. So it's good for the racers.
There's a chance that there's always a chance that all the riders may go through and not need to stop in the pits. But
Oh, sure. But I mean, with a field as large as this, there's at least 75 riders out there right now, and just the chances of something going wrong is very likely.
The obvious problem would be a flat tire. Those are pretty quick to fix because you get a free lap. But what I guess anything could cause a flat tire.
Yeah, glass. Sometimes just rolling over a bump, it will pinch the tube. That's pretty much it as far as flat tires. Occasionally they'll lose a chain. Occasionally a chain will break. As many different things as you can imagine could go wrong with a bicycle do in a race.
What is perhaps the hardest thing to fix in a one free lap?
A rider. Sometimes they come in and they want to go on, and they can be pretty red sometimes. But as far as the bikes themselves, I would probably say if they crash pretty hard, they bend up the frame. But what we generally do is we give them a bike. We try to have all the different pedal systems on the bike so that they can just get onto any bike and ride it. And then possibly for the next lap, we can repair their bike so they can ride it. But generally, we like to have something there ready for no matter what.
Okay, Dave Luding, thank you very much. I know you got to get back to the pits because the riders are coming back through again.
You're right.
Okay, thank you very much. Mick and Mike, let's go back to you. The riders are just coming down the home stretch.
A $45 premium as the...
All right, as they cross the start-finish line, Piobi Doxowicz of Columbus, Ohio, riding for Barker Proby in the lead, an 11-second gap off the front racers.
The lap times have slowed down to about 2:19 now, so they're not really going very hard. And anybody that wants to go out and win a lap can just about do it. Takes a little bit of effort. It might make them tired, and it could cause them to come off the back. It just depends on how much they want to win a lap.
An 11-second gap right now between the lead riders and the pack.
I'm sure that 11 seconds really depends on where you are on the course, too. 11 seconds in a tailwind is a lot longer than, or a lot shorter than 11 seconds in a headwind.
Approaching about the midway, or the quarter-way part of this race here, 45 scheduled laps.
You can watch Robert look back as he's going along the course to try and check out to see where the pack is, to see how they're riding, see if they're riding single file, going really hard or bunched up the way they are. And he's probably getting pretty tired out there by himself, too, saying, when's somebody coming up here to help me? It's really lonely when you're out there by yourself. And you know that everybody's like a vulture in the pack, ready to just eat you alive.
We're looking for you. We're also looking for Rob next time we're going to turn. There he is. The paper behind him is the rest of the field. So Rob next time is trying to make it $90 if he can make it to the finish line without being caught. Notice how he's to the far right of the curve, the far right of the road.
This is a preem lap we're watching the home stretch of. I believe it was $45, and so Robert Daksevich. And there he is, coming in.
He's tired, too.
Columbus.
He's really tired.
Not pedaling. He goes back into the field. He's tired.
Kirk Stockton out of Hermosa Beach, California. The Nissan Schwinn team is riding second. And we're about to have a new leader there. You mentioned it, Mike. He could see it, I guess. He was tiring a little bit.
A good tactic in a race like this is to let somebody go out front and ride really hard, and then when he gets absorbed, a few of your teammates immediately blast off the front and attack again. And that's a tactic that sometimes will get you away. And once you're away, that's the name of the game.
Again, there's the look at the lead.
They've basically been absorbed. Everybody seems to be looking back and wondering, well, is the pack going to chase us, or is this break doomed?
The idea sometimes of going out on a breakaway is to go and pick up some money like that. That's why they
It's going to be tough trying to pick the most aggressive rider here, because there are enough riders to where anybody that wants to could go out and pick a lap off.
Rob Daksevich has 3, Chris actually has 4, and then Marcus Renee has about 2 points. So the leader is Tim Swift with 4, we're going after $200.
All right, let's check them out again from our high camera atop the stretch here on Peace Avenue in West Carrollton. They'll come across the start-finish line. We've completed 14 laps now, 31 laps remaining.
That was a 2:12 lap, so they are going a bit faster now.
Michael Holman in the lead from Lansing, Michigan, and looks like Ron Henson out of Raleigh, North Carolina, riding for Team Kerry right there on his shoulders. So as we head to the third wave point of the race, 14 laps down and
Ups, have a crash
to go. We do have
One
a little
down.
bit of a crash along the first turn. We'll return here to West Carrollton and pick up on that and have more racing action for you here on Television 7 when we continue in just a moment.
Looky, 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 you are one cool cookie on your Huffy color waves. It's a bicycle. Looky, 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 ha, you are one cool cookie on your Huffy color waves. Cool as icicle. It's the color of cool. In the island shade, it's the ripple of the ocean. Ride the color waves. Cool. Looky, looky, you one cool cookie on your Huffy color waves. Cool. From Huffy, America's first choice.
Your garage will be one you are proud of when you have it built by True-Built Garage Builders. True-Built will build you a custom-built garage anywhere with the finest lumber, and it will be built by expert workmen. No one can build you a better garage than True-Built. So don't wait. Give True-Built Garage Builders a call today, and before you know it, you'll have the garage you always wanted. True-Built, not just a name, it's the way we build. True-Built Garage Builders.
Now at Pickway.
I bought this patent flat at the regular $16.99 price and got this $14.99 dress pump for free. Zero zip.
My high tops cost only $19.99, and Johnny's $14.99 court shoes were free.
So many styles and colors to choose.
Mix or match any green tagged women's shoes, children's or men's shoes. Pay marked price for the first pair, get a second pair of equal or lower price free.
Look for the tags.
Pickway shoes, take your pick.
The second pair's free.
Everyone has been waiting for Rex's gigantic Memorial Day sale.
Gentlemen, it's about that time. Wimbley, open the door.
I did it last year.
Who can we get to open that door?
Hi, guys.
This nationally sold 2-event 7-day video recorder is now $169. Or this Kawasho Color TV Memorial Sale priced at just $129.
Rex's Memorial Day sale. It's the sale everyone's been waiting for. Well, almost everyone.
Mick Hubert along with Mike Melton. And Mike, let's take another look here at this accident as it was. A single rider involved, perhaps a blown tire, and obviously some scrapes on the pavement.
I'm sure he hit the ground pretty hard and he slid, and he gets out of the way really quick when he gets back up on his feet because he knows that pack's right behind him.
And I don't think he got back in the race.
No, I don't believe he did. He probably smacked himself pretty hard. He's already missed his free lap.
Trying to get an identification on it. It looked like it was right toward the very front of the reaction. And at that point, you know, it could have been Ronnie the Rocket Hinson. We're not sure. Hinson was riding second behind Michael Holman, who was in the lead. But at this point, we're just unsure. It was a starting field of approximately 85 when this race began here in West Carrollton.
The only good thing about that accident is that he didn't take anybody else down with him. In many cases, in an accident on a turn like that, you can take down half the pack. If you're in the middle of a pack and lose traction like that, you can go down and just the domino effect all the way around.
So as we try and gather more information for you on the rider who is out, and as you take a look here now, again, the home stretch coming down Peace Avenue. We'll pick up the racers here before bringing you a little bit more behind the scenes about cycling. We'll have a special feature for you here in just a moment, but you see how close they are. Obviously, it wasn't Hinson because Ronnie the Rocket is still in the race, and he's right toward the top of the pack, and he was right there along with Danny Van Hout out of San Marcos, California. Very close as they have completed another lap, but Hinson is in the race, and we'll try and update you more on the rider who is out. But right now, as our racing coverage continues, we want to remind you that every bicycle rider should wear a helmet, obviously for his own safety. Dr. Bob Arnott shows us why in this special report.
It seems like common sense. Wear a helmet when you ride, and you're less likely to kill or seriously harm yourself if you crash. But apparently it's not that obvious to most people, since less than 1% of kids use helmets when they ride bikes. The result, every single day in the United States, one child under the age of 15 is killed, and another 1,000 are injured in bicycle crashes. Now, this study looked at 235 patients with head injuries from bicycle crashes. They compared them to patients who had injured other parts of their bodies. The head and nervous system injuries were the most life-threatening, ranging from major cuts and bruises to fractures of the skull and spine and serious brain injuries. Children were the hardest hit, and the youngest victims were 2 years old, whose parents allowed them to ride those two-wheel bikes on their own. When they compared those patients with head injuries to those without, the obvious proved true. Those without helmets were nearly 7 times more likely to suffer head injuries and 8 times more likely to suffer brain damage. Now that the facts are in, we're left with a pressing problem: how to get adults and tougher-to-manage kids to wear the helmets that will save their lives.
Now, I would assume, with technological advances all over this country, that the new helmets are better than the old helmets.
They're much better. The old helmets were very expensive, very cumbersome, hot, bothersome, and at least for kids, terribly uncool.
Now, are these kids' helmets?
This is a kid's helmet here. This is for the age of 4 and under. It's made by All American Products. And as with all of these helmets, you want to first of all look inside here, and it will have, focus right in on this here. There we go. It says Snell. You want either Snell or ANSI on the inside of the helmet. That means that it has been certified. They've actually taken these helmets, they've drop tested them with anvils to make sure that they will stand up to the...
What are those two names, Snell and ANSI?
Snell is the name of an actual foundation. ANSI is the name of a standard that are applied to these helmets. They take an anvil, they actually smash them down at a certain speed, and they can withstand that kind of impact. And you want to make certain that they have that. Otherwise, you may be wearing a helmet that is useless when you crash.
Now, is this an adult helmet right here?
This is for... There is an adult version of this. This is for the age of about 4 and up, and it has a couple of neat features. First of all, kids really do think that these are terribly uncool, so they do have special designs you can put on top. Here's one of them here. They can put a leopard skin on it. They may be able to use a special color like this. They have zebra, and they also have even a tiger skin. And I see these. Kids love them. They wear them in the neighborhoods. Also, if you look at both of these, they have a special kind of buckle so that it's easy to get on and off. You don't fumble around with trying to get it on and off your head. And you can customize these with these special pads. These pads allow you to put a little filler in here so that they will fit your head exactly. And then for the adults here, this is $69.95. This is about $69.95. This is only $20 here. Again, you have these special fillers like this that you can use to customize it to your head size. And when you put these on, it's not around your face. All of the adjustments here. Put on my own helmet.
That's yours, I could
Put on
tell.
my own helmet here.
I've had a couple crashes.
So more than a couple of crashes with this. When you do put these helmets on, first of all, you want to put them on squarely. A couple of kids in the study had them back like this and injured their foreheads. So neither too far forward nor too far backward. When they're on, they shouldn't rattle. And that means having enough of these liners
And really
in them.
tight around the neck.
Tight around the neck here so that when you open your mouth, it gets halfway open and it starts to bind.
Dr. Bob, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Mick Hubert along with Mike Melton back here in West Carrollton, Ohio, as we continue with this Dayton Cycling Club Huffy ProAm Criterium race. Take a look now and see them cross the start-finish line again. Mike Holman leading Danny Van Hout.
That was a 2:13 lap, and there's a pretty big gap between the lead pack and the main pack.
27 laps to go. 27 laps to go, number 44.
Completed 18 laps, 27 laps remaining. So we're 60% remaining on this race, 40% of the race complete. And we have the information now on the injured rider who is out of the race. One of the pre-race favorites, so to speak, is number 16, Cormac McCann, a native of Belfast, Ireland, now living in Charlotte, North Carolina. McCann perhaps blew a tire. We're not sure of that, but he did get scraped up pretty good. He was riding second earlier in this race and was toward the lead group when the accident occurred. He was right there on lap 14. So Cormac McCann.
I believe we'll have a talk with him as soon as he gets cleaned up and he quits hurting for a while.
Sure, there's a little bit of hurt mentally and physically.
It's pretty tough to come all that distance just to get eliminated like that and very early on in the race.
We're also looking for Lord Charmena. Lord Charmena and Sue.
In a fall like that, generally what will happen is you'll just get some minor abrasions on whatever part of your body is sliding on the ground. These riders have basically no protection from these the lycra suits they have on. They, unlike the keirin track riders in Japan who wear pads, much like shoulder pads and things like the football players have in football, the cyclists' only protection is their helmet.
Mike, these accidents, because they are accidents, happen so very fast. Can you break your fall, or anyway, is there any part that you would rather take the fall, or is there anything that you could protect, or do you have that kind of reaction every time at all?
Usually you have no chance to do anything about it. You're just on the ground. Now, during the off-season, these riders will actually do tumbling exercises in gyms to condition themselves to fall in the proper way. What you don't want to do is try to stick your arm out and break your fall with the stiff arm, because it'll literally break your shoulder.
Rob Dak Savage, a name we've called frequently here today, is the current race leader. Ronnie the Rocket Henson running second. Michael Holman running third. They have been up toward the front throughout the entire 17 or 18 laps that have been completed.
And the pack is all bunched together.
Again, you'll see the riders making that left turn, and they're turning off of Stadium and back onto Trina, which runs for about a block. And then they'll make yet another left turn and go on the backside Alex Road. Mike told you earlier about the wind which came over the levee, and that's really the part that they're negotiating, the wind. That's the only part of the course where it plays a major factor. And, of course, the good thing as far as they're concerned is when they turn off Cedar and come into Peace on the home stretch, they then have the tailwind. But right now, they're all negotiating into a headwind.
and the lead group is not working together. They're not getting along at all with each other, and it looked to me like they were fighting as to who's going to take the lead. They're not sharing the pace equally. In order for a group like that to maintain a consistent and steady gap in front of the main pack, they've all got to work together.
So with Rob Dak Savage, Danny Van Hout, Michael Holman running 1, 2, and 3 in the lead at this point. We'll continue with more racing from West Carrollton when we continue in just a moment.
This is special, and it's only this Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. It's our gigantic Memorial Day weekend sale, and it's our push, pull, and drag sale, and we'll guarantee you a $1,500 trade-in allowance. Like on this 84 Cavalier, only $79 a month, and you own it. Or this 86 Pontiac T1000, only $69 a month. So don't even stop to call us at 338-3131. Just come take advantage of these specials this Memorial Day weekend at Smith Chevrolet, Rossburg, Ohio. What a place!
Whatever you do under the sun, when ordinary sunblocks wash off, you get burned. You need Bullfrog Amphibious Formula Sunblock. We called it Bullfrog because in or out of the water, Bullfrog stays on all day. So whatever you do under the sun, don't go out without your Bullfrog.
Don't wait for the sun to get your hair light. Let a little sun in, do your hair right. Let gentle for softness, or super for flair. Or new natural lemon, put sun in your hair. Get natural looking highlights as soon as tonight. Put sun in your hair, do your hair right.
The Facts of Life, weekday afternoons at 4.
Mick Hubert along with Mike Melton back here in West Carrollton, Ohio. A pretty good race so far. We have had just one casualty as Cormac McCann is out of the race, taking a spill and getting scraped up pretty well. And let's now join Mike Hartzog, who's down with race official Jim Black.
Headquarters here in Dayton. Beautiful day. A little windy on the backstretch. When they turn the third corner, it slows them down quite a bit.
Doesn't seem like anybody can break away from the pack. When do you think somebody's going to start making a move here?
I wouldn't be surprised if we get off just about now. If a group can get away that works together well. The problem they have with the group that tried a little while ago is that they have several strong riders, but they're not working smoothly together.
Now, the preem laps that you run, the laps where you get money for being the leader of certain races, those are laps that you stage throughout the race to make the race go a little quicker?
Well, no, not to make it go quicker. It's a little more exciting for spectators because you have races within a race. And it's also exciting for riders, some of whom won't have a chance to win the overall race, but are good sprinters and come out and can win some money by doing the sprints and the intermediate laps.
Jim Black from Toledo, who does this just on weekends. He has a full-time job up in Toledo. We thank you for joining us, and have a good race.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Jim Black joining us, the race official here in West Carrollton this afternoon. Let's go back to Mick and Mike.
All right, James Start out of Bloomington, Indiana, riding for Team Gold, is the leader at this point. Danny Van Hout running second. Ronnie the Rocket Hinson is third, and Michael Holman fourth. But they were right 1, 2, 3. They were very, very close. Line 4.
Ronnie's been around for a long time. I can remember racing against him when he was a junior back in the middle 70s.
He's the team captain for Team Carey, as is Ronnie Hinson. 29 years old. Out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
we're still looking for Sandy Meister and Laura Charmaine. In the meantime, we'll have an award ceremony for second place and the most aggressive, or the lap winner, the sprint lap winner.
The pace of this race, Mike, seems to be fast at this point. They seem, at least in terms of the clock, they seem to be running ahead of the clock.
They are running a bit faster than we anticipated, and a lot of it has to do with the weather.
Almost 30 miles an hour, about 28, 29
Vastly different conditions than a year ago when it was very warm. On the cool side with a nice breeze. As Brent Emery. Wearing number 1 is number 1 at this point. For Team Ohio, running out of Columbus, Brent Emery, the current leader.
They're averaging so far about 30 miles an hour for this race. I can remember back in the 70s in racing like this when the top speed was average was around 25 miles an hour. So overall racing in the United States has really improved since the middle 70s. The pace has just become so tremendously hard now. It takes these riders 7 and 8 hours a day training to prepare for something like this. They'll train 7 days a week, 11 months out of the year to be able to go at this pace for this distance.
So with the speed up, therefore the pace up, you can directly contribute that to the individual who's putting in the extra time, as well as the piece of machinery is much improved, you would have to admit, over the course of the last decade.
Well, the materials that go into building these bicycles has changed drastically in the past 5 years. There are a lot of bicycles that are using real high-tech steels, carbon fiber, graphite, Kevlars, composite materials, all in an effort to make the bicycle a little more streamlined and a lot lighter.
The rider's making...
That's a lot of noise.
Sure is. Making a right turn from Risley onto Cottage. Really the only right turn on this course.
The thing about riding a bicycle, when you sit in the saddle every day, as long as these riders train, you get very keyed into the noise that your bicycle makes, and you can tell if something's going wrong with it, if a derailleur's not properly adjusted, or a tire's not sitting in it very straight, or your wheel's not completely straight. And you strive to make your bicycle as smooth and as quiet as possible.
And a $45 cream lap as you hear the bell. We've got Brent Emery and Mike Lance, both of, Emery out of Columbus and Lance out of Bloomington. 5-second lead right there for those two. Emery in the lead with Mike Lance running second.
And we have a third rider that's bridged the gap.
20 on this current lap.
Now these three riders are working together very well so far.
Not exactly the sound of Indianapolis, but one that's rather impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, the only fuel that's being burned there is food.
That's right. Carbohydrates, perhaps?
A little bit of everything. I'm sure there's a lot of hamburger in there, too. An interesting fact about the riders' bodies is that most of these riders have less than 7% body fat. And some of them are as low as 3% body fat.
Is that legal? 3%.
I wish I was 7% body fat.
You and me both.
Okay, here they come around the turn.
From Cedar onto Peace.
$45 to this
The
man.
time,
2:18.
2:18 on the lap, and there you get a flashing 31 miles per hour. Brent Emery, Mike Lance, James Start. Running 1, 2, 3, Emery, Lance, and Start. Now Emery out of Columbus, Lance from Bloomington, and Start from Bloomington. Both Lance and Start running for Team Gold. When you talk of Bloomington, Indiana, you certainly can be very familiar with cycling over there, the Little 500.
It's amazing how much the college students train for the Little 500. You can drive down there during the year prior to the event, and you'll see these guys out training just as tough and just as hard as you see the cyclists that are riding in this race here today train.
So once again, here they head for the home stretch, the long straightaway with a tailwind, a field of over 80 riders, hitting speeds of 31 miles per hour. As we're approaching the midway point of the race. Actually, we're a little beyond halfway through the race. 20 laps remaining. Skip Spankenberg is the lead. Spankenberg out of South Carolina, the leader. And so with 25 laps complete, 20 laps remain. We'll continue for more of our racing from West Carrollton in just a moment.
Black on black. Sleek, wild, Huffy Stalker. Anything but tame. Stalker, a racing bike, or an all-terrain bike. Both 12-speed, smooth, quick as a cat. Huffy Stalker. It's anything but tame. From Huffy, America's first choice.
Look, I admit it. I was ashamed to call an exterminator. I didn't want our neighbors to know that we had a problem. But getting rid of bugs and pests is easy and inexpensive if you call the right exterminator. Someone who really knows the problems that homeowners encounter. Now, if you're bugged by bugs in your home, do yourself a favor and call for a complete inspection now before those bugs and termites get you.
Don't delay. Call AAA Aladdin Exterminating for free inspection and estimate today.
Sometimes life in the kitchen can get a bit dull. Starting today, it's going to get a lot more colorful. Introducing Reynolds Crystal Color Plastic Wrap. Brightens everything from leftovers to lunchboxes.
Green, amazing, yellow!
Reynolds Plastic Wrap in colors.
Blue.
Very cool.
Reynolds.
Put some excitement back in your kitchen. Wrap it right and bright.
It's you and Continental for you variety. It's you having choices in the shows you want to see. It's you at the movies for you the latest news. It's you getting all the best in everything we do. A quality show on Continental. Cable TV's looking good. A quality show.
Michael Holman in the lead at this point here at the race. And Cormac McCann is the only rider to go out of the race out of Belfast, Northern Ireland, via Charlotte, North Carolina. And Cormac McCann is standing by right now with our Mike Hartsock.
It is a very sore Cormac McCann that's joining me right now. Cormac, the turn right behind us, you went down a little bit ago. Tell us what happened.
Well, I was in a small breakaway group. We were just off the front and going around the top corner there, my back tire blew out, and at 30 miles an hour, when that happens, all you can do is wait till you stop sliding.
Now, in a situation like that, I don't know if it's good or bad to be in a breakaway group. You just got to get out of the way, don't you?
Yeah, well, that's it. All the other riders, they're all trying to get away. You have a much better chance. You're taking less risk if you're in a small group.
We're taking a look at the accident right now. We can't see it down here, but your thoughts when you're going down are just obviously to get yourself out of everybody else's way.
Well, the first thing you do is you just try to stop yourself from having too much contact with the road. You get your hands down and stuff like that and try to keep everything else off the road. And then you try to get out of the way because there's another 100 riders coming around behind you.
Well, you did a pretty good job, but you didn't keep your backside off the road that much. That was the main injury, I guess.
Yeah, that's all I had, really. I got my hands down and my bike took most of my weight, so I just a little wrong in my butt and my hands. I don't think I'll be sitting for dinner for the next few nights.
A little disappointing afternoon, but glad to have you here in West Carrollton, and I hope to see you back again next year.
Okay, thanks very much. I hope to be here.
Okay, Cormac McCann from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Unfortunately, out of the race early. Let's go back to Mick and Mike.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Our best to Cormac McCann for consenting to the interview, and he's out of the race, but not down. He still has a sense of humor.
That's great. The worst thing about the accident is not having the accident. It's keeping the wound clean. He has to scrub that out every day until it heals up.
So here we go and take a look at the leader, Rob Daxevics, out of Columbus. Is the lead. 2:14, Mike.
They know each other very well. In fact, they ride for a team that is very almost incorporated with each other. In fact, we talked of merging those two teams together. They are sponsored by similar people. And that was the talk of putting those two teams together. So
Well, the finish of this could be very interesting. If this pack stays together, the sprinters that have been sitting in the pack and watching everybody will probably begin to move up with 3 laps to go, and we could see a very, very big sprint for the finish, and it's gonna be very difficult to pick out who wins.
We may have to go for a photo finish ourselves here.
Well, in races this large, they always have photo finishes because it's very easy for someone to get lost in the shuffle.
Ronnie the Rocket Hinson is the leader as they're out on the back part of the race course right now. We are situated about 50 or 60 feet past the start-finish line. So in other words, they cross the finish line about 50 or 60 feet in front of us. And so we'll have to keep our eyes peeled on that when we get to the conclusion of the 45th lap. Right now, we'd like to talk about really some important hints for the serious cyclists, and we're going to do that with Brian McKay, an exercise physiologist at St. Elizabeth Sports Medicine Center, with some hints for the serious cyclist.
The thing to be concerned with, number one, is what sort of riding do you want to do? If you're a beginning rider, what goals do you have? Are you doing it for general fitness purposes? Do you want to do some racing, some criterium riding, or some sport touring, or just some long distance touring? So with those things in mind, that can help dictate what sort of conditioning concerns or necessities need to be thought out. For beginning riders, what I would generally recommend is to work up to about 30 minutes of continuous riding 3 or more times per week. That's sort of a base at which to build from if you desire, yet that's enough time to allow you to gain some significant fitness. So 30 minutes, 3 or more times a week, I think is a goal that most people would have an easy time reaching, given adequate time to do that. When you're choosing a bicycle from a dealer, make sure that you have discussed your needs with them, and a good salesman should be able to pick out the right bike for you. And it's important to give them your height and weight, and again, your performance goals or your conditioning goals. Now, when you start a conditioning program, it's important that you think of 2 areas or two general components of fitness. Number one is stretching, and number two is strengthening. Priority stretches for cycling or for cyclers involve the lower extremities for obvious reasons. Cycling is primarily a lower extremity activity. So the types of exercises that would be important would be those that help stretch and improve the flexibility and range of motion of the ankle joint, the knee joint, and hip joint. Some of these exercises would include a calf stretch. Another exercise for the lower extremities would be some ankle flexibility and stretching exercises. Front and back of the leg, which include the quadriceps or the thigh muscles and the all-important hamstring muscles as well. Also important exercises would involve muscles of the low back. Cyclists have a lot of problems or can develop problems with low back stiffness and tightness just due to the position that they're on a bike and over long distances that can really tighten the muscles in the low back and can develop into low back pain. So from the lower extremities, from the low back all the way down through the ankles, these are muscles of the low back of the lower body that really should be addressed in a stretching program. Now, of lesser importance, but still things that really should be included in an overall stretching program would be some upper body exercises. Although biking does not use upper body to a significant degree, over a long period of time, the upper body can get stiff too, the shoulders primarily and the upper back. So any exercises that can be included for upper body, for the shoulders rather, and the upper back and neck, should be included as well. A lot of bikers don't feel that strengthening is real important. First thoughts is that all the time I spend biking, my legs have to be strong. And to a certain degree, that's true. If a biker is including any hill work into a routine, riding a lot of hills or doing some speed work, say on a track, for example, we're talking now, of course, more of the advanced riders, that's a good way to strengthen the legs as well as just some general riding, touring over a certain amount of time or distance. But the upper body is often neglected by cyclists, but it's very, very important. Over a long ride, the upper body can get real tired, so any strengthening exercises can help minimize upper body fatigue. Short of having to go to a spa or purchase special equipment, a routine of push-ups for the upper body, even some low back strengthening exercises are things that can be done quickly without special equipment. It can really aid to strengthening the upper body, which will be a real important concern for cyclists.
And we're happy to have him. Here comes the route down.
All right, we're back live now on the streets of West Carrollton, Ohio for this Criterium race. We're well into this race, over halfway through, as a matter of fact. We hope you're enjoying our telecast coverage. I'm Mick Hubert along with Mike Melton. As we told you, they pay for 20 places, the winner to receive $900, but more importantly, or just as importantly than the money, is some of the prizes they'll take away here. And for someone competing in the race, this is a prize possession, no doubt.
The winner gets this jersey. It says the 1989 West Carrollton winner, Huffy ProAm. And then there are two other jerseys that we're going to award today. And this blue jersey is the sprint champion, and this goes to the winner of the most preems, along with all of the cash prizes that he wins in his preem. Now, this is the jersey we have to decide who gets. This is the most aggressive cyclist, and it's painted red because red is a very aggressive color. So this is going to be the tough one for us to have to pick out the winner for. But these three jerseys, along with the cash, will go to each rider that wins them.
All right, so that'll be upcoming, as well as we mentioned, the $900 to the winner of this race here in West Carrollton this afternoon. We've had speeds of in excess of 30 miles per hour.
Average speeds.
Average speeds. That's right, the average. So we're going to have speeds obviously higher than that. How fast do you think maybe the top speed may have gone, particularly like on the straightaway here with the tailwind, Mike?
In the tailwind, they're probably going about 40 to 42 miles an hour, because in the headwinds, they're slowing down to at least 15 to 16 miles an hour. So in order to maintain a 30-mile-an-hour average pace, they need to really be going fast. It would be interesting to do a single lap time trial around this to see just exactly how fast they can go, or maybe hit them with a radar gun. Before we went to the Olympics in Seoul, I was with the Olympic team in Colorado training, and we were training the team time trial, the 100-kilometer team time trial team. And the squad were all riding funny bikes, and the funny bike has a small front wheel and a large rear wheel, and they were carbon fiber bikes with the disc wheels. And one of the riders had a flat, and we had to stop and give him a wheel. And while we were changing the wheel, the rest of the riders got about 4 miles ahead of us. So we had to motor pace this rider back up to the main pack. And by motor pacing, he rides about 3 inches off your bumper. And we were going 65 miles an hour. Wow. And he was 3 inches off my bumper, and I saw a little rock in the road, and I says, oh no, and he hit this rock, and this rock was about as big as your thumb. And I heard an explosion. And I looked up in the back, and I knew if he hit it, and he hit it with his front wheel, I knew he was going to fall. But he didn't. He held the bicycle up, but he was all over the road, sliding sideways and every which way. And we got stopped really quick. And I went back, and I says, I owe you a case of beer for that. Not only did you keep yourself off the ground, but you saved that $45,000 bicycle. But the front wheel looked like somebody had shot it with a gun.
Is that right?
The tire came completely...
65 miles an hour.
65 miles an hour. The tire came completely off of the rim. And the rim looked like somebody had just shot it point blank and destroyed the wheel.
Tremendous piece of riding. And yeah.
He was a good rider, very good rider.
Rob Deck Savage continues to lead here out of Columbus, Ohio. The previous completed lap was done so in a time of 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Again, this course here is 9/10 of a mile, and the race is designated 45 laps.
The pack is going very slow.
Yep, lap 32, so we're 2/3 of the way through this race. And you'll want to stay with us for an exciting stretch run as we have been pointing towards.
We have one Canadian in this main break. It'll be interesting to see if the rest of the Canadian team is in the front of the pack slowing things down.
Yannick Kojin, Peter Barrage, Nick Smith, Kevin O'Brien, and Gord Fraser are here, all representing the Canadian national team.
They have a 16-second lead.
And look at this breakaway, letting Rob Deck Savage take the point each time across.
Well, I was mistaken. There is not a Canadian in that.
Deck Savage leading, Danny Van Hout running second.
It's going to take at least 9 laps for Mike Holman to catch up. Mike Holman has 4. It's going to take him at least 8 laps to catch up.
Now we're seeing a little blocking going on there.
17-second breakaway, Mike.
That could be the break that does it now that the gap went from 10 seconds on one lap to almost 18 seconds on the next lap.
That would seem to be significant as we head to the final 11 laps, and we have, I think, the longest breakaway so far.
Well, everybody in the break has a team member in the pack. And if you watch real close, you'll see those team members are right at the front of the pack. And what they're doing is they're trying to slow this pack down. They're trying to control it, trying to slow it down so that the lead break can get further and further away, because we're coming down to the close of this race. And the bigger gap they can maintain, the harder it's going to be for the pack to catch them.
So Rob Deck Savage has led for a third of the completed 32 laps. He has been in the lead for 11. So if he can just maintain pace, he'd be in the money. No question about it, because he's won some Supreme laps, and he's led 11 of the 32. And, of course, the big payoff is at the end, the $900. Not only is there a $900 payoff for the winner, $650 for second place, $450 for third, $320 for fourth, and $230 for fifth.
There are places on this course that the break is completely out of sight from the pack. And the old adage is out of sight, out of mind.
So the previous lap, there was a 17-second breakaway. These four riders in the lead.
There's our leaders, Rob Dak Savage.
Dak Savage leading now for 12 laps. Danny Van Hout running second. And so as we head down to the final 10 laps, we're going to take a timeout and come back to West Carrollton with a Preem lap on. We'll continue in just a moment.
You come Stumps, we'll help you. You come Stumps, we'll help you. You come Stumps, we'll do you right.
Perfect pricing on the perfect size Pepsi for your Memorial weekend entertaining. The big 24-pack Pepsi cans just $4.99. And the big 39-ounce Maxwell House coffee is only $5.99 this week.
We'll show you, you come Stumps. We'll show you, you come Stumps. We'll do you right.
Boco fruit juice cooler from McCain. The switch is electrifying.
This is special, and it's only this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's our gigantic Memorial Day weekend sale, and it's also our push, pull, and drag sale, where we'll guarantee a $1,500 trade-in allowance, even like on this 1990 Lumina, only $179 a month, or this new Corsica, only $149 a month. So don't even stop to call us at 338-3131. Just come take advantage of these specials this Memorial Day weekend at Smith Chevrolet, Rossburg, Ohio. What a place!
Everyone has been waiting for Rex's gigantic Memorial Day sale.
Gentlemen, it's about that time. Wimbley, open the door.
I did it last year.
Who can we get to open that door? Hi, guys.
This nationally sold 2-event 7-day video recorder is now $169. Or this Kawasho Color TV Memorial sale priced at just $129.
Rex's Memorial Day sale. It's the sale everyone's been waiting for. Well, almost everyone.
This is Mick Hubert along with Mike Melton here in West Carrollton, Ohio. 10 laps remain, and there's an 11-second gap between the leaders and the pack. So the pack has done a little work, Mike. It was a 17 seconds down to 11 with 10 laps to go.
This lead pack is turning about a 2:13 lap, and the main pack can vary that from a 2:07. They could even do a 2:03 if they really worked hard.
Still rather slow, because I think we had 2:13 early in the race when they were very fresh.
Yes.
So what you're pointing toward then is we're going to see some pretty speedy laps here pretty soon, because there are only 10 laps left. So at what point do you start to pick up the pace? Still a little bit too early?
Still too early. Still too early.
Because really about 9 miles remaining in this race.
The key to finishing first here is to be the first one to jump at the last possible instance if it comes down to a group sprint.
A lot of individual psychology then involved in trying to outguess your opponent, and also trying to know your own strength, I guess.
Yes.
And I don't necessarily mean that as a physical strength, just what you do best and when to do what you do best.
Training makes you able to know what that is. These guys go out.
That's instinctive then, right? I mean,
it's conditioned. It's conditioned.
But now here comes the rest of the field for $45. And it's going to be Lycra's number 26.
So you're seeing some of the very best riders there are. If you're planning to or are currently participating in this sport of cycling, we offer now a few tips on the equipment that you should use to promote safety.
The most important safety considerations for our cyclists would be, number one, the bicycle. Each year, before starting a workout program, the cyclist should make sure that that the bike is in good working order. The primary components of the bike, the brakes, the gears, these are the things that should, and tires, of course, should be checked to make sure that they're ready for an extended training period. Now we want to talk about some of the important pieces of equipment that could not only aid to the cyclist's comfort, but also improve the safety factor of riding. And first and foremost of the equipment would be the helmet. Research has shown that up to 80% of all injuries that occur on a bicycle do occur to the head. So wearing a helmet should be a first priority. There are other pieces of equipment that can also help, primarily really in the comfort of the rider, but in the event of an unfortunate accident can help protect the rider as well. One thing that's of utmost importance for a rider is to wear glasses. Or some sort of eye protection is important. Now, when you're facing heavy winds or when you're doing some high-speed training, it's easy for your eyes to water with the force of the wind. So having something to protect the eyes from the wind or from bugs and other things that are in the air can actually, obviously, will help your vision and can prevent accidents as well. Rear view mirrors are things that you can mount on your bike. That'll allow you to keep track of what's happening behind you if you're riding in a pack, several riders, or if you're trying to keep track of traffic, approaching traffic. It's nice to have a rear view mirror either mounted on your handlebars, or there are some tiny reflective mirrors that can be attached to some eyewear or even your helmet, which will give you a good perception from behind or side perception that allow you to avoid any potential hazardous situations. One thing that's of utmost importance for a rider is to wear cycling gloves. Now, these gloves are especially designed to add padding. They are designed with extra padding in the palm of the glove itself, and that will help reduce some of the stress to the hand itself, which over an extended period of time can actually cause numbness to the fingers. Other things of concern, clothing may not be the most important consideration for safety, but yet to improve the racers or the riders' comfort and efficiency on the bike, cycling shorts are things that are more or less a staple for riders who like to do it somewhat seriously. Cycling shoes are important as well. Now there are at least a couple of types of cycling shoes. One would be a canvas type shoe that has just a reinforced toe and sole. Again, we're talking about stress over a long ride can add to the rider's discomfort and can cause problems with the foot itself. So a nice cycling shoe with extra reinforced components is important for cycling as well. Now, the other type of shoe which most of the serious riders would become involved with would be a cleated shoe. This is something that, this is a type of shoe that does include a small cleat on the sole of the shoe, which helps in stability, aiding stability on the pedal, and in conjunction with toe clips on the pedal itself, can really improve the cyclist's performance quite considerably.
Here come your leaders. Rob Dak Savage.
So Rob Dak Savage is in the lead as you see him cross that start-finish line. He has been in the starting position in the lead for a long, long time.
8 to go.
Marco Verni also right there at the lead. Marco Verni, we understand now, is the leader. I think Dak Savage was the leader in terms of laps led. Dak Savage leading in laps led, but Marco Verni is in the race lead. A 15-second gap and a 2:09 lap time.
And a $90 premium.
So that should make 2:09 what?
slow.
2:00.
We'll see. We'll see. It depends on
2:06
who's hungry.
maybe. Yeah. But with 8 laps to go, we're heading for an exciting finish here. This is the Huffy ProAm bike race, and one of the participating sponsors here at the trackside is the Olive Garden restaurant. And we would like to take this opportunity now to thank the Olive Garden restaurant for their food that they provided to the crew here, and we appreciate that very much.
You notice the last time through we rang the bell for $90. Well, Jeff Rutter, Jeff the Rocket Runner, from TV Gary just sort of sat up because he didn't want to do all the work. He maybe wanted to sprint for the $90 again.
So with 7 laps remaining, there's a lot of exciting racing action left, and we're going to return and have it for you when we continue in just a moment.
Looky, you are one cool cookie on your Huffy color waves. It's a bicycle. Looky, ha, you are one cool cookie on your Huffy color waves. Cool as icicle is the color of cool. In the island shade is the ripple of the ocean. Ride the color wave. Cool. Looky, you one cool cookie on your Huffy color wave. Cool. From Huffy, America's first choice.
Welcome home to some American dreams. Brought to you by Anderson, the windows more people come home to than any other.
Come home.
Get this 84-page book of window ideas at these Anderson dealers.
Available at PK Building Centers in Dayton, Minster Lumber, PK Building Centers in Springfield, and Gross Lumber Company.
All Renco, your rent-to-own store, has appliances you need at prices you can afford. For example, we have refrigerators in a variety of sizes, heavy-duty washers and dryers, and a selection of microwave ovens, all at affordable rates. And there's no long-term obligation, no credit checks, and no large down payments. All Rent applies toward ownership, and All Renco offers a guaranteed customer protection plan. Call today, get it today.
You'll flip over the thousands of incredible name brand savings you're going to find in every department during the rockin'est, rolling'est good old days sale ever at Value City. $1 million Sporto buyout, women's canvas casuals, not $19, only $8.99. Special buyout, women's Italian leather sandals, not $13, only $5.99. Women's fashion dress pumps, not $18 to $30, only $5.99. And men's canvas boat shoes, not $18, only $8.99. You'll be dancing in the aisles at the store-wide selection and savings during the good old days sale at all Value City department stores.
We are back live and racing through the streets of West Carrollton, Ohio for the Huffy ProAm Criterium race here. This is Mick Hubert along with Mike Melton. Mike Hartsock is also on the race course. We'll be hearing from Mike before the telecast is out. And right now you're taking a look at the start-finish line, the home stretch. We have a 4-man breakaway here. Again,
they're about ready to be absorbed by the pack again, and that's just
Rob
going to open it right up.
Dak Savage was leading. But at one point, a 17-second breakaway, and as Mike Melton mentions, with 6 laps to go, that has narrowed considerably. And they're stretched out pretty well right now.
The track is stretched out because they're trying to go really fast. Now we have no more free laps. That means if anyone has a mechanical difficulty, they're out of luck.
Too bad.
There's there's a good reason for that rule, and that reason is that some unscrupulous rider could pull this with 4 laps to go and set out a lap and become very well rested, get back in, and win the race.
Lord Charmeda. Lord Charmeda, if you are around, you are wanted by the police.
5 laps remaining here. Again, you look at the racers as they make the only right turn. That's off Risley, onto Cottage, into a little bit of a wind into their face before they'll make the left turn, onto Cedar. And as they pedal along Cedar, they come into the home stretch again. And when they cross the start-finish line, there will be 4 laps remaining.
Attention riders, $45 for first place, $40 for second place, a 2-place preem.
So $45 for first in this preem, $40 for second. And a new leader has emerged here right now as we head down the late part of the race. Houston Peterson out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, riding for Speed Drive, number 44, Houston Peterson in the lead. Getting word now that there are 5 laps remaining instead of the 4, so let's check that, and 5 laps remain. 40 down, 5 to go. So far to this point, Mike, with the race 90% over, your views on it, it's been pretty good. It's been really pretty difficult to assess. It's been fast, that's right.
It's been safe, too.
Been safe, only Cormac McCann going out. He was all right. We heard from him about 25 minutes or so ago. We had 85 start the race, and so only McCann is out. So a fast race, a safe race. Here on a beautiful day for racing in West Carrollton. Sunny skies, a cool breeze, and very comfortable temperatures. We hope you're enjoying our 3rd annual coverage of this race.
You know, Channel 7 is one of the only stations in the country to produce and show a bicycle race live.
And we began doing it in 1987.
That's right.
And again, we want to express our thanks to you, the viewers, for watching, and also to our production crew. It, too, has grown in number, and we've mentioned the additional cameras, all trying to better bring you the sights and the sounds of this race.
I think it would be interesting to have a rider sit up with some sort of audio inside the pack.
Crowd now showing its response. 4 laps to go. Skip Spankenberg, the leader, out of South Carolina. Gary Davis of Atlanta, Georgia, running second. They both raced for the Greenville Stage Lightspeed team. Mike Lance out of Bloomington for Team Gold was running 3rd. This race here, one of several going on here in West Carrollton. One of the earlier races this morning was a race competing with women involved, and Mike Hartsock is standing by with one of the competitors in that race this morning.
Okay, Mick, I'm standing by with both the 1st and 2nd place finisher. Sandy Meister was the winner. Laura Charmeda finished 2nd. Sandy, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It was a fun race, I guess?
It was a great race. I'm living in California now, and I came all the way from there to do this race.
Laura Charmeda, you were among the lead pack coming around the last lap, and you had a problem, ran into a wreck.
Yeah, there was a little crash right in front of me, and then I had to go chase up with Sandy there, and took about a kilometer of sprinting and about wore me out.
Okay. Sandy, that last lap with a crash coming in there and everything else, it's just a sprint to the finish, I guess.
Pretty much, but it was a good, hard, aggressive race throughout. There's a lot of tax going on, a lot of good money preems. So it was very aggressive riding, but coming down to the last lap, I know Laura's a really good sprinter. I knew to be on her wheel. So with that crash, it kind of changed things up, but we were really going head-to-head this right at the end, and it was a really hard sprint to beat her.
You know what the guys are going through. Both of you know what the guys are going through right now, because they're setting up right now, aren't they?
Yep, they sure are. With like 3 laps to go, they all want to get up there, and it's a lot of pushing and banging is going around.
Okay, we've been looking for Laura for Sandy for a while. We've got flowers over here for her, the first place finisher. We want to present your flowers to you. And congratulations to you on winning here this afternoon.
Thank you very much. I had a lot of fun today.
Okay, Sandy, Laura, thank you very much. Congratulations to both of you. Let's get back to the men's race.
All right, thanks, Mike. As you were doing that interview, the viewers had a chance to see some of the video, and our second accident of the day, and apparently I think it may have taken out our camera number 5, which was down at the end of Risley. So we'll have to check on that, as we are getting very exciting moments going on here now in the final laps of this race. Danny Van Hout is the leader right now. Danny Van Hout out of San Marcos, California, a 2-time Olympic team member and a 6-time national champion, leading here very late in the race.
If Danny's in the front 10 in a break, Danny will win it.
Well, we did see a bit of a break there.
Yes, I think that crash precipitated that, because generally when you have a crash, everybody tries to get away from it as quick as they can, and if you're in front of the crash, that gives you a definite advantage. Everybody behind it has to slow down and negotiate around it. From the sounds, from what I heard when it happened, whoever it was slid out and hit the camera.
It would seem to be that we did hear a little bit of the squeal on that. So a second mishap occurring here. Danny Van Hout has the lead. Again, they make that right turn off Risley onto Cottage. Two-man breakaway here off the front.
Danny's in there.
He makes the jump around. Well, let's see. He has not jumped. He's just going to take the $90 premium. They'll split it. They're going to try to stay away for 2 laps. 2 laps to go now.
Danny Van Hout, one of the 2 riders. There are now 2 laps to go, an average speed of 27 miles per hour. Steve Poulter out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, riding for the Milwaukee Wheelmen. In the lead. A 12-second gap right now. 12-second gap between a 2-man breakaway. Less than 2 laps to go in this race. An exciting race, a fast race. I believe the most excitement obviously yet to come, perhaps our greatest speed yet to come.
They have a very nice lead. Danny's looking back, checking to see where the pack is.
a two-man breakaway. Danny Van Hout, San Marcos, California. Steve Poulter, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the lead. And here we come into the home stretch.
A 5 second gap. And it's closing. Pack's after him.
So we're set for an exciting finish. The final lap. The final lap here in West Carrollton. Steve Poulter leading. Danny Van Hout in second place. The final lap here in West Carrollton.
Conceivably, any of these riders.
The pack starting to close the gap. As they turn off Stadium and go on to Trina.
Now they've been absorbed. So this last lap could be pretty slow as the sprinters come to the front and try to set up their position.
Let him go. He gets a little bit of a lead. And he won the race.
The roadies don't want the sprinters up front. So they're trying to force the pace. The sprinters are trying to slow the pace down.
Poor guy. Billy Anderson flat in the last lap.
Which seems to be the opposite of what the definition is, but not really, because if you're a sprinter, you want to have it right there for you to make your move, and right
the
at the end.
sprinter's distance is 200 meters, and it's from practically a dead stop. Everybody's jockeying for position now. See them looking at each other.
So
here they come.
Danny Van Hout, San Marcos, California, running right behind Steve Poulter, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They were in the lead.
Started.
As we head down to the final meters in this race here in West Carrollton, and here they come for the finish.
Steve Terry all over the front. He's there by himself. He's got it. Oh! Ron the Rocket Henson.
Ronnie won it.
Ron the Rocket Henson out of nowhere.
Ronnie the Rocket Henson, who was not one of the two lead riders, but he was right there near the front. Henson emerges with the win. He's wearing uniform number 70. Ronnie the Rocket Henson, certainly one of the veterans in racing. The team captain for Team Carey, a 29-year-old disc jockey out of Raleigh, North Carolina, who was a 10th place finisher at the 1988 National Criterium. And Mike, a guy who came into this race with over 200 career victories, he just tacked up another one. And the $900 first place prize. So an interesting race, and you had Rob Deck Savage leading for so much of the race, but yet when it's over, the veteran Ronnie the Rocket Henson out of Raleigh, North Carolina, wins it. An unofficial time of 1:39:02, an hour, 39 minutes and 2 seconds. We'll return to West Carrollton for more of our exciting race coverage here this afternoon in just a moment.
Make Memorial Weekend grilling delicious, easier, and affordable with Kahn's regular jumbo or bun-sized wieners at only 99 cents a pound. And add the Cookout Classic Florida Yellow Sweet Corn at just 10 cents an ear.
We'll show you got stunts. We'll show you got stunts. We'll do you right.
Huffy Corporation's contributions to cycling are significant. We regard our involvement in the Miami Valley to be of equal importance. With over 2,000 proud, dedicated employees and a sincere interest in the growth and goodwill of the Dayton area, Huffy is proud to call Miamisburg and Salina home for our corporate and manufacturing operations.
From Huffy, America's first choice.
Huffy Corporation hopes you will enjoy the presence of amateur cycling in the Miami Valley.
This is special, and it's only this Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. It's our gigantic Memorial Day weekend sale, and it's our push, pull, and drag sale, and we'll guarantee you a $1,500 trade-in allowance. Like on this 84 Cavalier, only $79 a month and you own it. Or this 86 Pontiac T1000, only $69 a month. So don't even stop to call us at 338-3131. Just come take advantage of these specials this Memorial Day weekend at Smith Chevrolet, Rossburg, Ohio. What a place!
Hi, I'm Dave Freeman from News Center 7.
And I'm Steve Kerrigan from WTUE, urging you to join the Multiple Sclerosis 150-mile bike tour June 10th and 11th.
It starts in Piqua, up the back roads to Ohio Northern University. Rest stops, sag wagons, a marked course, and overnight lodgings are all provided.
Dinner, a live band, cycling demonstrations, and entertainment will highlight the evening.
Organize a team or register yourself.
Proceeds from rider pledges benefit MS projects. Call 461-5232 for details.
Mick Hubert along with Mike Melton back here in West Carrollton. Part of our race coverage here today. You've just seen the men's championship race of this Huffy ProAm, but it's only one of several races going on. They'll be racing at 2:30 here. The senior 3:24 laps, $800, paying at 10 places, followed at 3:30 by the senior 4. It'll be 22 laps. Then tomorrow in Fairborn at 9 a.m., the juniors will go 30 laps and 10 places, a $300 purse. Followed by 9:45, the master men, that's 34 and over. They'll do 30 laps there in Fairborn, $200 for 10 places. Also in Fairborn, the race continues tomorrow at 10:30, the master men 44 plus. At 11:30, the senior 4. They do 35 laps, and again, there's good prize money there at $500. At 12:30, senior 3, it's 40 laps, followed by 1:30, the senior women. And at 3 o'clock, the Huffy Pro-Am, 60 laps, $2,000, 20 places, and $1,000 in premiums. Then on the 29th, on Monday, Memorial Day itself, at 9 o'clock, the juniors going 20 laps. At 9:45 in Kettering, it's the master men, 34 plus. They'll do 20 laps. At 10:30, the master men, 44 plus, 20 laps. At 11:15, the senior 4. So you can see it as a big, big weekend of racing. It'll continue in Kettering at noon with the senior 3, followed by the Janelle Parks race at 1:30. The senior women classic 40 laps, $2,000 there. At 3 o'clock, again, the Huffy Pro-Am, another 60 lapper, $4,000, and $1,100 is the preems at that point. So a big weekend of Memorial Day racing here in the Dayton area. This afternoon here in West Carrollton, you have just watched, and we hope you've enjoyed the race won by Ronnie the Rocket Henson out of Raleigh, North Carolina, an unofficial time of 1:39:07, and the winner is standing by with Mike Hartsock.
Okay, thank you very much, Mick Hubert. We're standing by with Ronnie the Rocket Henson, the winner this afternoon. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Ritter Collette, sports editor of the Journal-Herald, is here to present the winning jersey.
Ronnie, it's good to see you again. Now with these flowers, I know why your good wife Grace travels around with you so much and brings you this kind of luck. And for the Tour of West Carrollton, it's not quite the Tour de France, but you could ride in that too, with my compliments and with the compliments of the Dayton Cycling Club and the Huffies and the other sponsors, the Yellow Jacket.
All right. Thank you very much, Colin.
Ronnie, tell us a little bit about the race. You really came from nowhere, it seemed.
Let's see, the race is really one of the strangest races I've ever ridden. I mean, people were always off the front in front of us, and you never knew what was really going to work. When it came into like 7 or 8 laps to go, we knew that we were in trouble because we didn't have any teammates up there. So I called on my teammates, Matt Eaton and Jeff Rudder, and they did one fine job in catching up to the groups in front of us. And with 1 lap to go, we actually caught the 2 leaders. And from that point on, me being the sprinter of the group, they just set me up, and I just stayed in his draft until the last turn and just gave everything I had.
Ronnie the Rocket Henson, congratulations, the winner of the Tour of West Carrollton.
And thank you very much. Thanks to everyone who came here, and TV7's Channel 7 for being here and making this race happen.
Okay, Ronnie Henson, thank you very much. Let's go back now for a final word with Mick Hubert and Mike Melton.
All right, Mike, Ronnie the Rocket Henson, the winner. Our congratulations. And Mike, the most aggressive rider here in this race.
Goes to number 19, Rob Duck Savage.
He had the lead for several the laps, and he was the most aggressive. Mike, I enjoyed working with you. A fine race here this afternoon.
I really appreciate the opportunity to be out here with everybody.
So for Mike Hartsock down on the course and up here with me, Mike Melton, this is Mick Hubert. Thanking you for watching and wishing you a very pleasant good afternoon.
The 1989 Huffy Pro-Am has been brought to you by Stumps, your locally owned and operated supermarket, and by Huffy Bicycles, America's first choice. Stay tuned for NBA playoff action, Detroit at Chicago, coming up next.